In boxing, anything can happen. But what about when a fight ends in the first round? That's not just a knockout, that's making a statement. Today we're counting down the most explosive first-round knockouts. That left everyone, fighters, fans, and commentators, absolutely stunned. On April 8th, 2017 at the Manchester Arena, 19-year-old Dubois stepped into the ring against Marcus Kelly for his first professional fight. Dubois came out throwing bombs.
Aparkat geldi. Sol direkt tekrar. Midesi Kelly'ye isabet yok. Serseri yumruklarla gelmeye başladı Kelly. Ve şimdi bir darbe aldı. Yıkılıyor. Köşeye gitti. Henüz...
The fight lasted 35 seconds, but if Dubois made a name for himself in 35 seconds, the next boxer did it in an even more devastating way. They call him the Monster. And on May 25, 2018, Jamie McDonnell found out exactly why. McDonnell was the bantamweight champion, a true world champion. He had been defending his title for years, and he was supposed to be the experienced and cunning veteran who would test the rising Japanese star. But instead, he was executed. McDonnell tried to use his jab to establish distance, but Inoue slipped inside and landed a right hand that knocked the champion out in just 112 seconds. Inoue would go on to become an undisputed champion in 2 weight classes and one of the best pound-for-pound boxers in history. But McDonnell never fought again. Sometimes a single punch doesn't just end a fight, but an entire era. If you thought McDonnell's knockout was terrifying, Inoue made it look like a slow-motion replay compared to what he did to Juan Carlos Payano on October 7, 2018. Quarterfinals of the World Boxing Super Series. Payano was a former World Boxing Association champion, a legitimate contender with championship experience, who had never been defeated in his entire career. He was supposed to be a real test for the Monster, but the test lasted 70 seconds. The Monster had struck again. But first-round knockouts aren't just for the pound-for-pound kings. Sometimes they come from the most unexpected sources. On October 12, 2024 in Riyadh, Fabio Wardley and Fraser Clough faced each other again. The rematch lasted less than 3 minutes.
Great! I'm going ringside. I'm Tom Grisham.
I thought Fraser won this first fight actually, but it was close. I thought he did enough. I think it's an experience. Good jab, double jab, right hand, Clark. Match. Make Wardley move his feet because Wardley.
Clark started well, landing his jab and even catching Wardley with a clean left hook that made the champion blink for about 90 seconds. As Clark tried to recover, Wardley attacked the body with heavy shots before launching another devastating right hand that sent Clark against the ropes. With his legs wobbly and his consciousness fading.
Now Wardley.
They call this round 13 and down goes Clark! Shoot!
The referee immediately stopped the fight at 2:28 of the first round, but the knockout wasn't the scariest part. The post-fight medical exams revealed the horrible truth. Clark had suffered a rare fracture in the upper part of his cheekbone. Speaking of terrifying young talents, wait until you see what a teenager did to this experienced veteran. When you're 19 and people are already comparing you to Mike Tyson, the expectations are basically to destroy everyone. Moses Itauma has not only met those expectations, but has surpassed them in a terrifying way. On December 21, 2024, Itauma faced Dempsey McKinn. From the beginning of the fight, Itauma kept his distance, but struck with precision, knocking McKinn down twice. But the Australian didn't stay down.
Itauma comes in low, and he works that body, he might be in trouble.
It didn't take long. The 19-year-old threw another powerful left hook that landed directly on McKinn, sending him to the canvas for good.
And he starts back, but Itauma.
McKinn needed 12 rounds against Hrgovic, but he couldn't survive 2 minutes against a teenager. But if you think that was fast, we're about to enter territory where fights end before you can even blink. Both boxers came in undefeated, Alan Green with 17 wins and 0 losses. Jaden Coddington with 9 wins and 0 losses. On November 4th, 2005 on Showbox, what was supposed to be a showcase of prospects turned into one of the most devastating knockouts in the history of televised boxing. The fight lasted 18 seconds.
Hasn't hit double digits as a pro, but 9 out of 9 all KO. And here's Green. He promised to go inside, and he's stung, and he has rocked Codrington's world and left. And it's over. Over.
The doctors rushed to Coddington, who remained unconscious for several minutes. They performed neurological tests and a CT scan before discharging him from the hospital. Fortunately, he made a full recovery. And when it comes to undefeated champions who suffer a humiliating defeat, the next one didn't even see it coming. On December 17, 2016 in Saint-Denis, France, the veteran Hassan Ndamjikam faced the undefeated interim WBA middleweight champion, Alfonso Blanco. Both boxers had impressive records, Ndam with 34 wins and 2 losses, and Blanco with 12 wins and no losses. The math suggested a competitive fight. The math was wrong. The fight lasted 22 seconds. The undefeated champion fell as if switched off. His perfect record was shattered before he could throw a meaningful punch. 22 seconds. Blanco came in with a 12-0 record and left wondering what decade he was in. But not all first-round knockouts happen in seconds. Sometimes a minute and a half can be just as brutal. Jimmy Williams was 34 years old, a former standout college football player with a winning record and 7 years of experience in professional boxing. On October 7, 2020 at the Mohegan Sun Arena, he faced the promising 21-year-old Brandon Lee. Williams probably thought that his experience would help him win. He was wrong.
We'll find a lot of NFL quarterbacks at 143. Good left hand hurt Williams. Williams is in trouble. Another left hander right behind. I would imagine that's exactly what it was. Another right hand drops Williams.
The fight lasted 94 seconds. Lee came out with absolute skill, immediately throwing strong punches at Williams, which ended up sending him to the medical team.
I don't think Williams has anything left. That's it. Another right hand. That's it. Well stopped. Dropped Williams.
Williams needed a CT scan. Afterwards, fortunately, the result was negative. 7 years of experience erased in 94 seconds by a kid who was barely old enough to rent a car. 94 seconds is brutal, but sometimes the devastating first-round knockout comes from the most unexpected source. In September 2019, Daniel Dubois had already established himself as one of the most dangerous young heavyweights in boxing. Ebenezer Tate came in undefeated with a record of 20-0. From the beginning, Dubois kept throwing explosive punches, knocking Tate down twice in quick succession before the referee stopped the destruction.
Strength and character. He started well.
Just need to maintain that distance there, just go call to the little left-hander.
Tate needs to find something solid just to announce himself in this fight, but that's a right in this opening round, and Dubois going looking for it, and he goes again.
Dubois had just turned another undefeated prospect into a warning. And speaking of undefeated boxers who end up humiliated, the next knockout shook an entire country. On October 15, 2022, Matchroom Boxing made its debut in Australia, in Brisbane. The main event featured 2 undefeated Australians, Liam Perro with a record of 22-0 and Brock Jarvis with a record of 20-0 and a knockout percentage of 90%. On paper, it was supposed to be a close fight. Liam landed a flawless straight left that sent Jarvis to the canvas. The fight ended at 2 minutes and 29 seconds of the first round. Jarvis came in with 18 knockouts in 20 fights and left wondering what had hit him. From Australia to Wales, the next knockout proved that sometimes it only takes one punch to silence the skeptics. Joe Cordina had suffered hand injuries for years. The veteran Welsh Olympian had been forced to withdraw, and critics wondered if he would ever reach his potential. On August 14, 2021 at Matchroom's fight camp, Cordina faced Joshua Hernandez from Chicago, the same one who had stood up to Chris Colbert for 8 tough rounds.
Cordina to get operated on during the fight. Big right hand.
Cordina came out looking for the right hook from the very beginning, and it didn't take him long to break through Hernandez's defense. A left jab, a strong right hand, and Hernandez went down for the full count.
Before that, oh, he's got once again from Cordina.
53 seconds. That's all it took. Hernandez didn't even know what had happened. On March 25, 2016, Ivan the Beast Baranchyk was a relatively unknown prospect fighting on Showbox. Nicholas Gieben came in with a record of 16, 0, 1, and 10 knockouts. The bell rang, Baranchyk came out and immediately landed a fierce left hook that sent Gieben to the canvas.
Head of boxing. And he starts out very quickly, and left hand drops him. And I mean, that was a left hand.
The fight lasted 21 seconds before anyone had time to sit down. But that's nothing compared to what the Beast did next. In November 1990, the Welsh boxer Nicky Piper faced Big John Ellis in the United Kingdom. Piper had already earned the nickname the KO King for his devastating power. Ellis was about to find out why.
Well, we followed Welshman Nicky Piper regularly on seconds out, and that is going to be a quick...
12 seconds seems impossible to beat, but somehow it gets even crazier. June 17, 2007, Minneapolis. Phil "The Drill" Williams faced Brandon Burke in what was supposed to be a 4-round fight. What happened next went into the boxing record books. A lot of people have seen a no-look pass, but not a no-look knockout.
Look at ring attire and we're underway.
Here we go. Oh, right out of the gate! The fastest knockout I've ever seen.
Some sources place the actual knockout punch at just 1.5 seconds from the start of the fight. That's not a boxing match, it's a magic trick. And finally, we've saved for last one of the most devastating heavyweights. On March 12, 1998, David Tua was already building a reputation as one of the most fearsome fighters in heavyweight boxing. The Samoan Hammer had built up a record of 22-0, with devastating knockout power that made his opponents think twice before stepping into the ring with him. And John Ruiz is about to feel it.
A reach advantage here. We'll see how he uses it. Tua with a big left hook, and Ruiz in trouble. Tua comes right at him. Another big bomb, and Ruiz is down. This could almost be over now.
19 seconds, and Ruiz was unconscious before he even knew what had hit him. Tua's power was not only destructive, but it was the kind of power that reminded every spectator that a single punch from him is enough to turn out the lights for good.